All right, let's see. We're now at the point where I'd like to ask Deacon Ron to address where we are in the transition to our new model of clergy support.
It's an interesting time because what we're doing here is creating something that is likely to not just benefit this church, but other churches as well. A deacon in charge position, we still have to really understand what that means, and then after we understand what it means, then we need to put it in writing. It's important to know what the expectations are, but we're in a situation here where this hasn't happened anywhere else that I've been able to identify. I put a lot of messages out to see if this was occurring anywhere else, and it doesn't seem to be. So, you know, we're going to do something new, and a big part of that is deciding on a regular rotation of priests coming here to preach and also do the Eucharist. And I've gotten a lot of suggestions. A lot of the suggestions were the same. Paige especially. People want you, Paige. I also talked to Bo Townsend, and right now he can't help us with this. He's just leaving another situation, and like many of us have done in the past, he's just not ready to do anything. He may be later on, but that's not going to solve our immediate need. Carol Westfall is not taking any assignments right now. And understand that this is a process, it's a dynamic process that we're hoping to identify what that process is. But the idea really, and this is pretty much what the bishop said, set up a rotation. And you be in it. That was Gayle's idea. To have me a part of the rotation. And one week a month, I would then do morning prayer and preach. So, you know, the good news is we're going to get a variety, I hope a variety of people coming in who are good at what they do. And that's what I'm going to really focus on. There was also a suggestion that we ask Kay Reynolds if she will come and help us out. And I will be making contact with her this week to talk to her about it. That then would be three.
Bring up the two churches that might be interested in.
Yeah, also St. James may be interested in having a relationship with us that allows them to come and preach here. John Mark and JR. We still haven't shaped that up yet, but we will be. I think that no matter what the rotation is, if we have a relationship with St. James that allows us to do that, then we'll find a way to fit that into the rotation. The rotation is, there are folks who might be good for this, and at the same time we're talking about a rotation, we're also talking about guests who could come and preach, exciting folks, new folks that we haven't heard from before. Smokey Oates is also a name that came up in conversation. I've worked with Smokey. I like him a lot. He's really good. But one of the issues that we have to understand is that the folks that we're asking to be a part of a rotation are retired. And so they've kind of walked away from that kind of participation in the organization of the diocese. But I think what will appeal to folks, especially as time goes by, is the fact that this is not weekly. This is once a month. And that's easier for folks to fit into their schedule, especially if they can plan on it. You know, so Gayle might be the first Sunday of the month, Paige would be the second Sunday of the month, I might be the third Sunday of the month, and then we would have somebody else. And when I put the announcement on Facebook, I should have done it clearer. We got to have somebody who can do the Eucharist and preach. And there was a suggestion about someone that, frankly, I don't even know if that person is an Episcopalian.
I think she's Methodist. I think she may be Methodist.
Oh, okay. So that person, you know, I think we could probably talk about it and have them come in as a guest speaker or guest preacher. But we're really looking for Episcopalians to fill the rotation.
Episcopal priests.
Episcopal priests, right? Yeah.
Did you speak to Peggy?
No, not yet.
Did you speak to Peggy?
Did you speak to Peggy?
No, I
Peggy
haven't.
Blanchard.
I haven't spoken to her yet.
Okay.
Peggy Blanchard.
I will, just to let her know what's going on. Yeah, Rick?
Rotation of people versus the rotation of Eucharist and or morning prayer. And also physical Sunday evening or and also Wednesday evening gathering. Evening prayer meeting.
Yeah, you know, once we get past this organizational issue in terms of rotation, I think we can sit down and talk about other things that we want to do where we might bring some of these other folks in to help us. I'm all for that. You know, I really am. But first and foremost was to determine your preferences in terms of who would come and do these things. So I've really tried to align myself in a very tight way with that, recognizing that things are different for every human being in terms of who want to be involved in this. So I would say to you, if you have any other suggestions, please let me know, and I'll look into whether or not folks will be able to do it. But I'm kind of prioritizing right now, not kind of, I am prioritizing right now based on who you all have told me you want. Hopefully someone who knows our church and knows what our issues are, has been here at one time or another participating in it. Is that clear, you might? Okay. So, any questions about any of those, just give me a call or IM me on Facebook. I know not everybody's on the internet, and currently there's not a whole lot we can do about that, you know? Yes?
I want to say one very quick thing about that. I don't know, Larry, when you send out cards to the folks who've been sick or who you know have not been here, would that be some way of communicating with these folks who don't have internet, who don't have Facebook, who don't even know what's going on right now, but might have a suggestion or an input or something that they can either participate in the rotation or the guest speaker? Is this something that could go under Larry's purview as senior warden or no? I'm just throwing that out. Because I do think it's so important to reach out to the folks who are disconnected, but who still have a stake here with St. Louis.
You know, I'm not against new ideas at all, whatever we can do to make it
So I didn't
work.
know if that was something that Larry.
Is that something that you could do, Larry? You know, we do our best we're going to do our best to get the information out to everybody, but we can't get everyone.
I know, I just thought that Larry's good at that.
Yeah, Larry is good at it.
Nancy's trying to speak.
Larry's writing very nice handwritten notes, which are very personal, and I think that's been a really important way of letting people who are not here know that they are remembered and that we love them. I think really at this point, this is a major change. Mother Gayle has been with us for 3 years now. I think that this warrants a major announcement, you know, as in 8.5 by 11 sheet, telling people about that we will now have, you know, introducing, if people don't know, Deacon Ron, introducing him again, and introducing this whole thing. This is a very positive move forward. We're going to be having maybe a plethora of priests, some on a rotation and others perhaps coming in as guests. And then moving forward, vestry will be considering the ongoing ministries as Mother Gayle outlined them in her sermon. I think that this is what's warranted now. And it doesn't have to be done before Christmas, please God, but in January. I think vestry, along with maybe, or just Deacon Ron, should frame something that goes out to everybody whose address we have in any way, shape, or form. That's just my
It
thought.
sounds like a good idea to me. I guess the question is who would take responsibility for it.
I can help, like, get it out, you know.
That's funny, you were on my mind when I said that.
Nancy, would you be willing to write the letter?
I can help write the letter.
Or draft something?
And I'll help with it too. I'll
Yeah,
help with it
I think
too.
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
It'd be great for everybody in the body of St. Luke's, you know, members and non-members, everybody we still have we have quite a, you know, a distribution for mailing.
Yeah, I think this is an exciting change that we're trying to accomplish here, and I think passing the word along out, that word is already getting out to some degree to the grapevine. And that's good. You know, we don't want to depend just on the grapevine. But I think the other thing that I want to demonstrate to folks is our willingness to look at new paths, new ideas, to make this successful and to continue to support the community here. It's really critical that we get a hold of that and not let a dog with a bone. We want to help this community in every fashion that we can. That's about it for me.
That's great, thank you, Ron.
Sure.
Okay, I'm just going to make a couple of closing comments, and the first is that I think we ought to thank Ron for even being willing to do this.